Yo, Remy Ma just obliterated Papoose and Claressa Shields on wax, and the internet is on fire. Bars so sharp they left surgical scars, and now a whole new woman named Cuhdeejah just got dragged into this mess by Claressa's own blood cousin over pancakes at IHOP. Papoose really thought he could juggle a two-time Olympic champ, a Grammy-winning rap queen, and the daughter of his own record label boss? Bro really woke up and chose violence, but against himself. Before we get into it, like, subscribe, don't miss it, nah. Remini Mafia Smith, Remy Ma to the culture, dropped a brand new track titled W.Y.F.L, that stands for W.Y.F.*kin Lyin, aimed dead at her estranged husband Shamil Mackey, aka Papoose, and his current girlfriend Claressa Shields. The song hit streaming platforms April 15, 2026, uploaded to Spotify under W.Y.F.L rhythm, and Remy also ran the freestyle on the radar on that same wave. Papoose really thought filing that divorce back in May 2025 was gonna make Remy just disappear quietly. Now let's look at the receipts that show why this whole thing backfired on him and Claressa in the worst way. Complex. Man, where do I even start with the receipts on this one? Let me walk y'all through the quote bank piece by piece because this stuff is wild. First one, Remy Ma's actual bars on W.Y.F.L Complex published the lyrics April 15, 2026, and Remy went right at Papoose's neck. She spits, "Ever since you left me, you been rapping bad / and that little young girl getting laughed at." When I heard that line, I had to pause the track and just sit there for a second. Bro said what? Remy really said his pen fell off the second he stopped sleeping next to her. That's the dumbest position for Papoose to be in, because now every bar he drops from here on out is under a microscope. Then she goes in on the age dynamic. On that same track she raps about Claressa being too young to understand, flipping Papoose's own words back on him. When I read this, I had to do a double take. Is he serious? Papoose gave Remy the ammo himself. Nah, you can't say that in an interview and expect your ex-wife with 20 years of bars in the chamber to just let it slide. Next receipt, Papoose himself. Papoose has been out here claiming for months he wrote Remy's biggest verses. In multiple interviews leading up to this, he suggested his pen carried her career. Remy addressed those claims directly on Instagram April 15, 2026, saying she was shutting down claims from Papoose that he wrote her bars. That line right there? That's where he lost the plot. You don't take credit for your ex-wife's Grammy-nominated catalog and then act surprised when she resurrects your career on wax just to bury it again. Now here's where Claressa fumbled her own bag. On the Breakfast Club interview, published by The Shade Room July 23, 2026, Claressa Shields told the world Papoose loves me and confirmed she wants to have a baby with him, while the divorce isn't even officially finalized. When I heard this, I was like, what? Bro, she really said that on camera. Claressa really thought announcing baby plans with a man who's still legally married was gonna win the public over. That's the move of someone who's desperate for validation. Then Remy Ma clapped back through Complex Sports on Threads July 22, 2026, and this quote is cinematic. Remy said she'd literally pay to get it over with. Complex reported the exact framing. Remy Ma calls BS on Claressa Shields' Papoose divorce comment, says she'll pay to get it over with. When I saw that headline, I said nah, this is different. Remy just told the whole hip-hop world she has zero emotional investment left, she's ready to write a check to make it disappear. That's not heartbreak talking. That's exhaustion. Now the Cuhdeejah receipts, this is the one nobody's ready for. Cuhdeejah is a Sierra Leonean artist signed to Wynn Records, which is Papoose's own label. Papoose posted her on Instagram back in 2024 with the caption, "Can't Stop Destiny." Wynn Records at TuneCore. Genius has the full lyrics to Counting Green, Papoose, Busta Rhymes and Cuhdeejah, released September 12, 2025, under Wynn Records. The hook goes, "Let me think about it / count my money, hundreds, and fit ties / count the green, get in between." When I read this whole thing, I had to rewind it 3 times. Get in between? Papoose put that in a song with a woman his cousin-in-law now says is his boss's daughter? Bro really thought nobody was gonna read into that. Genius. And then Shalita Savage, Claressa's own blood cousin, hopped on Instagram Live from an IHOP booth and said on camera, Cuhdeejah is the daughter of Wynn Records owner. The owner of Wynn Records. Cuhdeejah is his daughter. She also said, allegedly, when it came to Papoose and that picture she took with him, she wrapped her hand around his neck. She leaned in for it like that man is her daddy or something. Yo, this part is wild. Shalita said she called it first. If any of this checks out, Papoose isn't just tangled with two women, he's tangled with his label CEO's family. That's the kind of business complication that can end a career. Now that we got the quotes, let's connect the dots. Alright, here's where it gets even crazier. Y'all didn't notice this though, the timeline on all this is surgical. Remember that divorce filing? Papoose filed May 22, 2025. That's over a year ago. And yet, as of July 23, 2026, the Shade Room is still reporting the divorce status is unclear. That's 14 months, y'all. So when Claressa hit that Breakfast Club and started running her mouth about baby plans, she did it while the ink was still wet on paperwork that hasn't been finalized. So Claressa really thought going public with baby talk before the divorce closes was a smart move? That's terrible timing, bruh. Remember that track? W.Y.F.L dropped April 15, 2026, the exact same week Papoose was doing pad work with Claressa promoting her undisputed heavyweight title defense against Lonnie Daniels in July. So Remy waited for the biggest promotional window of Claressa's career and released a diss track designed to hijack every interview cycle. Any smart person would have seen that coming. But Papoose isn't smart, he keeps giving her openings. Reddit hip-hop heads. Now the Wynn Records piece, this is the timeline detail nobody's connecting. Papoose founded Wynn Records as his own imprint. Cuhdeejah's first big look came from that label. And Counting Green with Busta Rhymes dropped September 2025, 4 months after the divorce filing. So the recording sessions, the promo runs, the shared photos, all of that was happening while Papoose was publicly courting Claressa. That's when you know Papoose doesn't have real advisors telling him, hey bro, maybe don't cross-pollinate 3 high-profile women simultaneously. The relationship dynamic gets deeper. Shalita Savage, Claressa's blood cousin from Flint, Michigan, has been publicly at war with Claressa for months. Facebook posts from the Shade Room family pages have Shalita accused of GoFundMe scams and family drama going back to 2025. And now here she is on live specifically dropping Wynn Records information? That's a family feud weaponized against Claressa's boyfriend. Instagram. Then there's the age gap. Papoose turned 48 in November. Claressa is 30. That's an 18-year difference. Papoose has a 28-year-old daughter named Dejanay, meaning Claressa is 2 years older than his own child. When Claressa asked her Breakfast Club audience for a baby with a 48-year-old married man during Papoose's ring walk performance era, that's when the half-a-century comments started flying. ATL Black Star. And here's the kicker nobody's saying loud enough, Remy Ma had a career before Papoose. She had Ante Up, she had Lean Back, she had Grammy nominations. Papoose was rapping in his car doing verses on Busta Records when Remy hit. DJ Envy posted on Facebook the exact framing, Remy was known before Pap. Pap was someone who was rapping in his car and did a verse on Busta Rhymes' song. That timeline alone makes Papoose's I Wrote Her Bars claim laughable. DJ Envy Facebook. So Papoose did all this 3 days after Remy's track was still trending? That's the move of a man who doesn't understand how streaming algorithms work. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Now check this out, nobody's talking about the sonic choices on W.Y.F.L. The title itself is forensic evidence. W.Y.F.*ckin Lyin isn't aimed generally, it's a direct interrogation. That specific phrasing carries a courtroom energy. Remy isn't asking a question. She's presenting exhibits. And Papoose really didn't catch that? That's embarrassing. Zoom into one word, young. Remy dropped that little young girl, not that girl, not his girl. The word young was chosen surgically. Because Papoose himself said someone was too young to understand him in an earlier interview. That single word is a callback weapon. Remy weaponized Papoose's own vocabulary against him. If Papoose had half a brain, he would have noticed this before giving her the ammo. Now the visual forensics on that Cuhdeejah photo Shalita described, the arm placement. Shalita said Cuhdeejah wrapped her hand around his neck while every other celebrity got standard side-by-side poses. That gesture right there? That's not label executive energy. That's not artist meets producer energy. Nobody wraps their hand around a married man's neck in a group photo unless there's comfort level established. That single body language detail is what set the whole IHOP live off. The song Counting Green, zoom into one lyric. Get in between isn't just a filler bar. In hip-hop, that phrase has been a double entendre for decades. Papoose is a lyrical technician, he knows what double entendres do. So putting that line on a track featuring Cuhdeejah wasn't accidental. That's the problem with Papoose, he doesn't read between the lines when his own lines read like confessions. Then there's the pattern forensics on Claressa. Watch her interviews closely. Alicia Baumgartner does an interview, she redirects boxing questions right back to boxing. Francine Cuhdeejah talks about her career. But Claressa? Every single interview cycle since December 2024, when Remy first publicly announced the affair, has been dominated by Papoose talk. That's not accidental. That's a pattern of a woman whose identity is now anchored to a man's marriage. And Claressa really didn't catch that? Complex sports. One more forensic detail, the Instagram reel Remy dropped April 15th. She was wearing clear glasses in the interview. That's a stylistic choice with intent, clear glasses in visual storytelling represent transparency. She literally dressed like she was about to expose something. And she did. That's a masterclass in visual branding that Claressa's team clearly doesn't have. Now let's see how the media covered this. So the media coverage on this is split. Complex framed the W.Y.F.L release as a straightforward diss record, clean, factual. Remy Ma appears to take shots. They played it neutral. But remember those bars from earlier? Complex didn't touch the emotional weight of Remy weaponizing Papoose's own words back at him. They gave the shell of the story without the soul. Yahoo Entertainment picked up the Complex piece and framed it as pure hip-hop drama, click-driven, less analytical. Their spin painted this as another rap beef without acknowledging the legal ecosystem, that this is happening during an active divorce with contested spousal claims. That framing lets Papoose off the hook far too easy. Yahoo! The Shade Room went a different direction, they leaned into Claressa's Breakfast Club moment on July 23, 2026, framing it as Claressa shutting down divorce rumors. But that framing gives Claressa credit for control she doesn't have. Because remember what happened next? Remy dropped that pay to settle line the very next day. The Shade Room's Claressa in control spin got dismantled in 24 hours. The Shade Room. Vibe magazine ran with Claressa Shields talks loving Papoose and his impending divorce. That headline treats a still unfinalized divorce like it's inevitable. That framing serves Papoose and Claressa's PR machine. But remember those timeline dots we connected? 14 months of an impending divorce isn't impending, it's stuck. Vibe soft-pedaled the reality. Vibe. Now some Claressa fans are saying Shalita Savage is just a bitter cousin looking for clicks. Those are the same people who thought Papoose's "she's too young to understand me" line was romantic instead of the L it actually was. Claressa's supporters are reaching trying to defend this timeline. If you still think Papoose has the moral high ground after all this evidence, you're just biased. The media trying to spin this for Team Claressa, but the receipts don't lie. But here's what nobody is saying. Everybody wants to frame this as a love triangle. Papoose left Remy, Papoose found Claressa, now Cuhdeejah is just gossip. Mainstream hip-hop media is running with that clean 3-act story. Here's the real story they won't tell you, this isn't romance. This is industry politics at its dirtiest, and Papoose is the pawn in a chess game he doesn't even realize he's playing. Look at the Wynn Records piece. Papoose runs the label. Cuhdeejah is signed to it. If, and I stress allegedly based on Shalita's IHOP Live claim, Cuhdeejah is genuinely connected to the label ownership through family, then Papoose's entire label infrastructure has strings attached that nobody in the streets is talking about. Papoose is a puppet, and the label may be pulling the strings. Every song, every feature, every business decision runs through people who benefit from him staying in specific romantic and business entanglements. Remember that counting green line we broke down earlier? It's actually about way more than money. It's a masterclass in industry compliance disguised as a flex track. Papoose is a lyrical genius, he doesn't put words on records by accident. That bar is a coded message to people in his ecosystem, not to fans. And if, opposition, Claressa knew what deals Papoose has signed just to keep Wynn Records afloat, she'd understand why he can't just walk away from any of these women cleanly. Here's the historical pattern nobody wants to touch, we've seen this playbook before. Mike Tyson and Don King. Shalita called it herself on that IHOP Live. Powerful management figure identifies a talented but vulnerable black athlete, positions themselves as savior, extracts value while the world watches. Now flip it. Powerful lyricist identifies a talented but industry-inexperienced Olympic champion, positions himself as coach and love interest, and suddenly her every interview becomes about him. That's not love. That's a masterclass in psychological manipulation, and Claressa's Flint, Michigan roots left her without the industry armor to see it coming. The Shadow League. Now the cultural impact angle. This moment is marking the end of an era. Remy Ma represents a generation of hip-hop wives who protected their husbands' careers publicly while eating disrespect privately. Claressa represents the next generation who says, "I'll say it on the Breakfast Club and dare you to react." Papoose is caught between two eras of black womanhood, and he's fumbling both because he's playing checkers while both women are playing chess. Remy is 4D chess. Claressa is at least 3D. Papoose? Bro is still playing Connect 4. And here's the psychological warfare angle nobody wants to touch. Remy Ma released W.Y.F.L not because she wants Papoose back. She released it because she knows every time Claressa does an interview, that track is going to trend again. Remy essentially planted a landmine in Claressa's promotional calendar. Every time Claressa fights, every time she gets nominated for anything, every time Papoose posts, the song resurfaces. Any smart person would have waited. But Papoose isn't smart enough to warn Claressa what's coming. Then there's the authenticity angle. Claressa is rewriting her own story right now. She's positioning herself as a woman who found love while conveniently ignoring that the man she found was legally, publicly, actively someone else's husband. That's not romance. That's a persona rebuild. Claressa's whole, in love and unbothered persona is manufactured, and every Shalita Savage IHOP live is another crack in the foundation. The forbidden truth is this: every single person involved is playing a role written by an industry that profits when black women fight each other publicly. Remy gets streams. Claressa gets interview bookings. Papoose gets label leverage. The audience gets entertainment. But nobody involved is actually winning anything real. And when the smoke clears, the only person left holding legitimate leverage is the person you never see on camera, the actual label executive whose daughter's name just entered the chat. And that's the truth they won't tell you. So what happens next? Here's what's most likely to happen. The divorce between Papoose and Remy Ma is going to drag through the end of 2026 and possibly into 2027, because Remy just publicly said she'll pay to end it, which means SHE holds the leverage now, not him. When that finalization drops, Papoose is gonna look desperate trying to sell it as a win. Remy's next project is going to feature at least one more Papoose reference, and every streaming platform is going to boost it because algorithms love blood in the water. Claressa will try to counter with another Breakfast Club appearance, but nobody's gonna care about her love life talk anymore. They'll want boxing content, and she won't be ready. The silence from boxing media is gonna hurt Claressa more than any diss track could. Now, if Claressa does get pregnant in the next 12 months, and she's been openly campaigning for it, the culture is gonna turn on this situation fast. A baby announced while Papoose is still legally married will be the biggest PR catastrophe in hip-hop wife swap history. Claressa is not ready for what's coming if she rushes this timeline. We saw what Remy did to Papoose with one track. Imagine what she does with a full album cycle if a baby drops before the divorce does. Claressa doesn't stand a chance in that court of public opinion. Looking at the bigger picture, Wynn Records is the wild card nobody's watching. If Shalita Savage's claims about Cuhdeejah get verified by any credible outlet in the next 6 months, even a TMZ mention, Papoose's entire label credibility takes a hit. Artists don't sign to labels tangled in messy personal drama. Cuhdeejah is counting green, and Walla streaming numbers are gonna get re-examined. Every industry blog is gonna dig. And Papoose won't have the political capital to protect the imprint because he already burned it on personal drama. This is gonna be the moment everyone remembers as when Papoose's rap credibility died. Not because his pen fell off. Because he chose personal chaos over strategic silence. 5 years from now, people will look back at 2026 as Papoose's biggest L, the year he traded a Grammy-nominated wife, a functional label, and a legendary discography for a highlight reel of ring walks. And Remy? She's watching the culture crown her as the woman who never lost her cool and still bodied everybody on wax. That's the legacy elevation you can't buy with any label deal. The wild card, if Shalita Savage's IHOP live truly is the beginning of a family war going public, Claressa's Flint, Michigan foundation is going to get exposed too. And once family starts talking, they don't stop. Papoose is watching 2 ex-wives, one alleged label boss's daughter, and now his girlfriend's own blood cousin all move against his interests simultaneously, and there's nothing he can do about it. He picked this. All of it. Whatever happens, one thing's clear, Papoose already lost. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed uncovering the real story, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you never miss when we expose what everyone else is too scared to say. Ring that bell for notifications. And if you want more truth bombs like this, click on one of these videos next. Trust me, you'll want to see what we found.